Hi, I'm Thali Sugisawa. It's nice to meet you. Oh, hello, I'm John Smith. It's nice to meet you too. Let me ask you a question. Where are you originally from? Brazil. I was born and raised in Brazil. Wait, what? No way. Yes, my mom is Brazilian and my dad is Japanese. That's why this. And here's a fun fact for you, John Smith. Brazil holds the largest population of Japanese descendants in the world. What? I had this conversation so many times. I still do, actually. And I agree with John Smith. This can be mind-boggling. These are completely different countries in size, culture, economy, politics, you name it. So you might be wondering, how did that happen? Well, initially, this was not the plan at all. When the slavery was abolished in Brazil, the plan was to whiten the population by sponsoring immigrants from Europe to work in coffee fields. Yes, you heard me right. They wanted to make Brazil white. But they kept needing more and more people, so here comes Japanese migrants trying to escape World War II, over 200,000 of them. When the war broke, Brazil was living in its first military dictatorship. There were two, and believe it or not, maybe one more is coming. Japanese migrants living in Brazil suffered the consequences of radical and extreme nationalism. Their little schools were burned to the ground, and they were no longer allowed to speak their own language. My mom was the first Brazilian in my dad's family. She's an orphan. She lost her parents at the age of 4. So when she got pregnant, she was taken in my dad's family, but she was treated accordingly, like a foreigner in her own country. And because of that, I was constantly reminded that I was the mixed one, the Brazilian. I was not legit. I was not pure. And my mom used to tell me, don't be bothered by that. You're unique. And I didn't want to, but then at school, all my friends would call me the Japanese, the Jap girl, or all the nicknames you can imagine. So my question was, where do I belong? Why is it so clear for these groups that I don't fully belong with them? Well, then it was 1994, and I was about 10 years old, and the first time I set foot in the US to visit Disney World. I remember as if it was yesterday, all the different faces walking around Magic Kingdom. I could hear so many different languages, and no one seemed to care that I had smaller eyes. No one pointed at me. So 10-year-old me had a plan. One day, I'm going to move to Orlando. Because maybe I can just be me here, just Thali, just another immigrant. And well, it was not that easy. It took me 20 years. Bachelor's and a master's degree in international relations, and an ambitious career in a male-dominated industry. For over a decade, I worked with big multinational companies like Fujifilm. And that career gave me a pretty comfortable life, but a comfortable life that was still incredibly uncomfortable for me. So, in 2015, I decided to leave everything behind, quit my job, and moved to Orlando with my husband and our daughter. I had to pretty much start from zero, and people called me brave. But to be honest, it was terrifying. But God was good, really good, and He sent me a mentor, the wonderful Leslie Loss. And I was so scared to start all over again, but she assured me, show up, and mighty warriors will come to your aid. Leap, jump, and the net will appear. So I started my journey of showing up. And the Mayor's Academy was one of my first stops. I didn't feel like I was ready, but there I was, showing up. And what a fantastic program. I met incredible people, and I've learned a lot. At the same time, I heard that my daughter's school was in kindergarten, needed a multicultural person for their advisory committee. Hey, that's me. So there I was, advocating for progressive education, more free playtime, and less homework. Well, you can imagine that they were not my biggest fans, but no matter what, I was showing up. One day, Terry Olson invited me to join a committee that would brainstorm ways to honor and celebrate the many cultures we have here in Orlando together. I said yes, and I participated in the committee for 2 years, showing up every month until I finally got a job there as a part-time assistant. Last November, Fusion Fest came to life. A free 2-day festival celebrating the fact that we can be ourselves here, no matter where we come from. To be a part of showing that diversity and inclusion is what makes Orlando great was much, much more than 10-year-old me could have ever imagined. It's like this city needed me as much as I always needed this city. So I keep showing up for big and small things. Even when I'm scared, like tonight, like right now. A couple of months ago, my daughter and I were in New Smyrna Beach getting ice cream. And the lady asked us, "Where are you girls originally from?" And I was about to start the whole same conversation, right? And then, but Mel, my 7-year-old, was quick. "We're from Orlando." The lady looked at me, and I nodded. Yes, we're from Orlando. Thank you.